Kevin Alvarado Campos, or what's your last name?
Alvarado's fine, but
No. What's your birth
Alvarado
name?
Campos.
Okay. So let's do a name change, huh? Alvarado Campos. Sir, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. On November 11th, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas, and made contact with the defendant, the operator of the motor vehicle and sole occupant. The officer observed an odor of marijuana based on training experience, and the officer asked the defendant to step out of the motor vehicle. The officer observed an unholstered pistol between the seat and the driver's side door, and 3 small plastic bags containing marijuana. The weight of the marijuana, 56.8 grams.
Is he on probation? Let's see.
Not that I see, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Alvarado Campos, I want to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. How old are you, sir?
22.
What do you do for a living? Do you have a Texas driver license? Can you run his license, Alex, please?
Yes, Judge.
I'm ordering you not to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. Do you have car insurance in your name? Then you're not allowed to drive, and I'm making that a condition of your bond. If I find that you drive, I'm going to have you arrested. I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? Who do you live with now? Is she here now? How much money do you make a month, sir?
$2,000 to $4,000 a month.
Okay, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. If you want to drive, go get liability insurance, come back, show me that you have it, and then we'll allow you to drive. I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of any weapons. Do you understand?
Sure.
That if I find you with a weapon, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You pick up a new case, start acting the fool. Don't. Do you understand? So this is an affidavit that you're going to sign with me today, promising me that you're not going to drive until you have car insurance and get court approval. Once you do that, I'll take this off. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you or I'm going to have you take a seat while I get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign them, promising us you're not to have any weapons. And after that, we'll let you go. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Come on. Luis Aviles Garay.
Sorry.
So you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. This is a class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. Officers were working an unrelated fatality investigation on Southwest Freeway in Harris County, Texas. And while the officers were on scene, the defendant attempted to pass the police line into the fatality investigation. The officers stopped the driver and observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, glossy eyes, slurred speech, and unsteadiness. Standard field sobriety tests were administered. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 6 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.208 and 0.195. The defendant admitted to drinking 4 beers between 5 and 9 p.m. And during a search of the defendant's person, the officers found a bag of marijuana containing 1.13 grams.
Mr. Aviles Garay, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, sir?
No.
You speak English, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not gonna drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care what you have to do. You get into a car and drive, I can and will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because it's a second offense, I'm ordering you to obtain a handheld interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. Likewise, if I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, I'll put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
We are sending notice to DPS now, where every DPS officer will know if you are in a car driving and you don't have an interlock on it, they're going to put you in jail because they know that the law is now, we're going to require you to obtain a guardian interlock. You're not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an interlock on it. If you're caught driving a vehicle, number one, I'm going to have a contempt hearing. Number two, you'll probably end up going to jail because every officer will know that you need an interlock. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't get into a car for any reason. You want to drive, go get a license, get liability insurance, talk to me, and then we can.
I have insurance, liability insurance.
It doesn't matter. If you don't have a license, then you can't drive. You can have $15 million in insurance. An insurance company is going to say, man, you're not supposed to be driving anyways. We're not going to cover you in the event that you get into an accident. You have to have a license. Insurance companies deny everybody for every reason. You give them any loophole, they're going to deny any coverage. If you don't have a license, they're going to say, well, you're not supposed to be driving anyways. I don't know how an insurance company would give you insurance when you don't have a license.
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
I work compounding for a fertilizer company
Okay, what kind of money you make a month?
to 2,000.
Where do you live?
I stay
Who do you live with?
by myself.
Okay, are you married?
No, sir.
Kids?
Yes, sir.
How many kids you got?
One,
Who's got custody of the child?
my child's mom, well, both do co-parent.
Do you provide support?
Yes, sir.
How?
Financially wise, and I help.
Is
I
it-
get them every other week.
Is it you
No,
just give?
no, it's just we got an understanding between us.
Okay. You want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Like an application. I'm telling you now, Mr. Aviles, don't drive. It's the worst possible thing you can do in this short life. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll have you sign all the documents and then I'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Come on. Good morning, Ms. Carter. Ma'am, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. On November 11, 2024, the officer was dispatched to an assault in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the complainant and the defendant. The complainant stated he was in a dating relationship with the defendant since August 4th, 2024. The complainant stated he went to a bar with the defendant and an argument started when the complainant was being nice to a bartender. The complainant stated the defendant did not like that he was being flirtatious. The complainant stated they left the location and the defendant was arguing with him while driving. The defendant kept trying to press the off button on the motor vehicle and the complainant had to pull over to call 911. The complainant stated he kept driving, pulled over at an Exxon gas station and exited the motor vehicle. The complainant walked to cool down while on the phone with 911. The complainant stated he was stopped by the defendant. The defendant pulled on his hoodie strings and the defendant slapped the left side of his face with her open right hand, causing pain. The complainant stated he did not touch the defendant, and the officer observed redness on the complainant's left side of face and a small cut on the inside of his upper lip. The officer observed no visible injuries on the defendant.
And I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Have you guys reached out to the complaining witness?
No, you're
You know
wrong.
what?
This is a DVD case and no rip has been attempted.
Okay, Novak.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Carter, until I know that he wants to have contact with you, I'm ordering you not to have any contact with this person. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons as well. It looks like a protective order was issued in this case on the 11th of this month. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate the protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you. Violation of a protective order, and it's one of the worst cases you can pick up. Do you understand?
Yes.
How old are you, ma'am? What do you do for a living?
Don't work.
Why not?
Us being together, he chooses to provide and he doesn't want me to work, so.
How do you support yourself? You're not to have any contact and not to be with him at all. So how are you going to support yourself?
I started applying.
You know what? This life is very short. And if you don't have some kind of education, if you don't have some kind of work experience, this person may not be there for the rest of your life. And you should never, ever have to depend on a man for anything. You should be self-reliant, where you, as a woman, depend on herself, because you never know who's going to end up being there for the next 5 years, 10 years. This person takes off, you're destitute, alone, without anything. I've seen it happen over and over and over. Did you graduate from high school? Okay, it's time for you to start working. I'm making that a condition of your bond. I will have you apply for an appointed lawyer, but I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks. I want to see what you have done to get a job. You cannot go with this life dependent on any man. You need to have a career for yourself.
I have an upcoming interview.
Good. I want you to start working, and I want you to build yourself a strong career where you don't have to rely on any man for anything. Rely on yourself. That's what life's about. So you can buy nice things yourself. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
depend on any man for any reason.
I was working, but once we got together, he didn't.
Don't. Who cares? Be a strong woman yourself. Why do you have to rely on what this dude says? No. Be yourself, man. You know, have a strong career, make millions of dollars yourself. You don't have to depend on anyone. All right? All right. I'm going to have you, I need you to fill an application for me. I'll have you talk to a lawyer here momentarily. I'm going to have you sign bond conditions that you're not supposed to have any contact with this person and not to be in possession of weapons. If I find that you do, I'm telling you now, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You understand? All right, come on.
Judge, I'm sorry. Was that state's bond conditions?
Yeah, states conditions. You know what? And I already have an application now. So I'll have you sign a receipt, and I'm just going to have you take a seat in the jury box. Okay? No contact, no weapons, get a job.
Next,
Yes,
Judge, page
please.
5 and 6, Castillo, come on up.
What are you on?
This is Raul Castillo.
Yes, Judge.
Do we know if Mr. Raul is coming today?
I'm not sure, Judge.
Mr. Castillo, you are charged with driving while intoxicated. This case is 1,705 days old. You're also charged with possession of a controlled substance. You're also charged with felony theft of a firearm. I don't know what we're going to do with you. Take a seat for me in the jury box. You are not allowed to leave.
Raul Castillo.
All right.
This is I'd come to talk to you before about him. He sort of missed his court date because he mixed it up with the felony court date, which was on Monday, and your court date was Friday. And he looked at the wrong bond sheet, but he hasn't been arrested.
That was 4 years ago?
No, 4 years ago I guess, he's been sort of on the lam for 4 years, but he has been at the same address back in the
Come up.
due diligence days. That would matter, but it doesn't matter now, I understand.
Regardless, it's time to put the baby to bed, you know?
I talked to your chief already, Michael, and we had a tentative deal. He has felony court tomorrow. I have to run it by felony, but
What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Stinking?
I'm thinking do something on the DWI, get rid of the felony, get rid of the possession.
All right.
Either that or RIC court him. But he's here tomorrow, correct?
Okay.
He's here tomorrow, and
We'll look to tomorrow. Let's see what happens upstairs, and then perhaps a global
That'd be great. Yeah,
Resolving will work out. Okay.
I tried to work it out ahead of time because I knew.
Good, good.
All right. Well,
job,
thank you.
Rio.
That was good.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Spence. Do you have a lawyer today?
No, sir.
Tell me what you're doing about that.
Well, I lost my job, so I'm right now trying to find a lawyer to work with me.
How do you support yourself?
Sir,
How do you support yourself?
well, right now I'm still spending what I did have left over. I can't work because the defendant goes to my job trying to stop getting work. My job basically let me go because the person keeps coming up to my job, creating the same.
Who's the complaining witness in this, Alex? I'm Spence.
Spence, it is gated relationship. Yes, Your Honor, so I believe
What were you doing?
Mechanic.
So what are you gonna do now?
I've been looking for new jobs.
Did you call the police when this person keeps coming?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because every time I have an altercation with the police, I have so
But if you're doing nothing wrong and you're at a place of business and she just keeps coming there, you've got a bunch of people that you're working with that can corroborate what you're saying.
yes, sir.
You know?
Just like last time, I went to jail, I got my tooth knocked out by the police.
What,
So I don't want to call the police. I just avoid it at all costs.
if you're doing nothing wrong, you're working, you've got a bunch of people that are there to corroborate what you're saying, you have nothing to, there's nothing to worry about.
That's why I'm on bond.
Sorry?
I'm on bond right now.
Okay, I understand, but if you're working, someone's coming to harass you,
I mean, if I'm not safe in my own home, let's work. This case happened at my house.
what,
So
I think we're having two different conversations here, Mr. Spence. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help you out here by,
exact same conversation. I avoided it because I didn't want to deal with the police, so I just left.
so you just left what, work?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they didn't fire you, you just left.
Yes, sir. Well, he said, he was like, until this case is dismissed, then you can return back to work. He's like, I can't have her coming up here creating these type of scenes.
The problem I have, Mr. Spence, is that, you're working at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, your 11th case. How many appointed lawyers have you gotten on all those cases?
I paid for most of my lawyers.
Really?
Yes, sir. Actually, all of them, actually. Except this last one with the felony.
The last one, no. Appointed lawyer.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You want to apply for an appointed lawyer now?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Let me see if I have an application. on file now.
And I was told by the other lawyer that my paperwork downtown, like whenever they took me to jail, and made me fill out that paperwork, was completely wrong.
Here I have that you make $9,000.
No, sir. I wouldn't be here if I did.
All right, I need you to fill out a new application for me then. I'll take a look at it and we'll see.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just be honest on, it. Be honest, don't just put zeros. Okay, all right, you mind?
Madam Judge, next.
Mr. Levesque, you're
Señor
charged with
López
driving
está
while
acusado con
intoxicated.
manejar ebrio.
You're facing up to
Enfrenta
a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine.
una multa de $4,000.
You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail, credit for how much time?
Crédito,
Credit for the 1 day that you've done.
la que ya
You
cumplí.
need to understand that this charge will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. If you ever get pulled over in a car and an officer sees or smells
Huele
anything funky in the car,
carro.
it's a good possibility that they take you down and charge you with a second offense.
ofensa.
What we're doing today,
Estamos haciendo aquí hoy,
from now on, you are facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand?
¿entiende? Yes.
So if you're not in this country with permission, you do any more than 4 to 6 hours in custody, you can almost bet yourself that you'll end up with an immigration detainer.
Con un cuestión de inmigración.
You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial,
El
right
derecho
to
a un
compel
juicio,
witnesses to testify on your behalf,
testigos,
confront and cross-examine your accusers.
interrogar a
If
sus
you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country,
excluidos
denied naturalization under federal law.
federales,
You give up the right to
renuncia a
appeal.
su derecho a apelar.
Once you accept this agreement and once you plead guilty, it will go on your record and you can never take it off.
Jamás podría sacarlo de su récord.
You understand?
¿Lo entiende?
Is
Yes.
this what you want to do?
Yes.
Is it true
¿Es
or
verdad
untrue
o no es
that you
verdad?
have a 0.15 or above?
Más arriba. Yes.
It's true to that enhancement. State on the open
El
camera,
Estado.
say.
We're abandoning the enhancement.
I want you to understand
Quiero
that
que
they're
usted
abandoning
entienda que están evitando
container allegations.
eso que se alega
And
en
I
el
would
documento
hope
trato abierto. Yo
that
espero
you get it through
que usted
your thick
entienda
cabeza
su cabeza bien
that you're not
gruesa,
to have
que no
alcohol
puede
car
tener
while you are
alcohol en el
driving.
carro mientras está manejando.
Do you understand?
¿Se lo entiende? Yes.
I'm going to suspend your license or ability to drive for 180 days.
De manejar por
You are
cierto.
not to drive whatsoever for any reason.
Por
And
ninguna
I'm
razón.
going to tell you, if you do,
Voy a decir que
that
lo
in and of itself is a class B misdemeanor, and you can be right back over here. You come back here with a new case, it's not going to go well, sir.
le va a ir bien, señor.
Do you understand?
¿Se lo entiende?
How do you plead to the driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not
¿Culpable o
guilty?
no culpable? Guilty.
Find you
Lo
guilty.
encuentro culpable, lo
3 days in
sentencio
jail, give you
a 3 días en la
credit for one.
cárcel con el crédito para el uno.
5 allegation is true.
Diga que es verdad.
Abandon the second enhancement.
El segundo.
What do you do for a living?
¿Qué se dedica usted?
Guardia de seguridad.
I'm a security guard.
What kind of money do you make a month, sir?
¿Qué tanto dinero gana usted al mes, señor?
No, pero hace 2 meses que no trabajo, no estoy trabajando.
It's been 2 months that I have not worked. I'm not working.
Why not?
¿Por qué no?
Porque me sacaron del trabajo.
Because they just took me out of my job.
How do you support yourself?
¿Cómo se mantiene usted?
No, porque trabajamos 3 en la casa.
Because there's 3 of us in the house that work.
You still need to eat.
Pero
How do you
tiene
eat?
que comer, ¿cómo se come? ¿Cómo se alimenta?
Con el dinero de ellos por ahora.
With their money for right now.
I'm asking you these questions because there's a ton of fines and fees that come with the DWI.
De,
I will begrudgingly waive these fees for you now.
yo,
But if you are not smart enough to consider how to get home on a night of drinking like a little child, I will put you over my knee like a little child and I will spank you like a little child, but I will spank you with a ton of jail time. Do you understand?
¿lo entiende?
A second DWI, you were looking at around $7,000 in fines and fees. And if you don't pay it, you sit 1 day in jail for every $100 you
Para
owe.
$100 usted
Get a clue.
la cárcel.
Every day, someone dies in this county for the DWI.
Alguien maneja
Don't
ebrio.
become a statistic.
No se convierta en un estadista.
Do you
¿Lo
understand?
entiende?
All right.
Yes.
Judge, if I may, the only thing I would add to this
Lo
is,
único que yo puedo agregar
he
a
had
esto
a ALR suspension.
una
Would you
suspensión.
give him credit
Pide
for
que se le
the
daría
time?
crédito por el
I'm not
tiempo.
going to reward him any
No,
more
no le
than we're
voy a
doing now.
dar más
No.
nada de lo que yo le
But-
digo.
Don't get into a car
Que no
and
se meta en un carro y
don't have a
maneje si
license.
no tiene
Do
licencia.
not drive.
No,
I will
maneje.
protect my county in every way, Mr. Lebet. And if that means putting you in custody, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Eso lo haré.
You need a waiver for the.
Yeah. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Sí, señor. Thank you.